very common phenomena of, saying the ruler is kafir, the ruler of this country is kafir, the ruler of this. It's very common amongst Muslims everywhere. They make takfir of the rulers. Why is this there? What's the reason behind it? And does it have any Islamic basis to it or not?
Okay. The Prophet ﷺ saw this coming. And this is why if you read the Bukhari and the Muslim, the Sahih and the books of Hadith, you would find the Prophet ﷺ highlighting the importance of the Muslim ruler and governing him, protecting him, because as the scholars of the Salaf say, one day under the ruling of an oppressive tyrant is better than 70 years without any ruler. And this is very deep to think about it, because if you look at what they call the Arab Spring, people rebelled. They want democracy, they want fairness, and this is their right. You can't ask people to live under oppression and not talk. They require freedom. They require equality and fairness. But there are ways of attaining this other than that. So what happened? They rebelled against their rulers. And to rebel against your ruler, usually you will be faced by a number of hadiths preventing you from doing this. And that is that you cannot leave the Pledge of Allegiance to a Muslim ruler, otherwise you die the death of Jahiliyyah, of pre-Islamic era. So they were faced with this obstacle. I can't rebel. What should I do? What should I do? Aha, let's give takfir to him. So the ruler is a kafir, which means that we don't have any pledge of allegiance to him, which means that we can attack him. And this cascades down. So if he's a kafir, this means that his cabinet is a kafir as well. They are his ministers and the prime ministers, and they serve his agenda. So they're kafir as well. And if they're kafir, those protecting them, such as the army, the civil defense, the police force, are kafir as well. And their wives and families and children, because they are accepting their role in the government, are kafir as well. So who's Muslim? You and I. That's it. So it cascades down. Now, they neglect or purposely ignore the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ was addressing the companions in so many occasions. And in one occasion, the companions, when they heard about the bad rulers that the Prophet was telling them about and that they were coming in the future, the companions said, "O Prophet of Allah, shouldn't we fight them?" So now the Prophet ﷺ is explaining to his companions. The request was, can we rebel? Can we fight against the Muslim ruler who is bad as you have described? The Prophet ﷺ prohibited this. And he said, no, unless, now look at these conditions set by the Prophet ﷺ, not by the scholars. It is him who stated it. He said, no, unless you, first of all, see, condition number 1. Blatant, condition number 2. Kufr, condition number 3. You have ample evidence from Allah Azza wa Jal. Condition number 4. إِلَّا أَن تَرَوْا كُفْرًا بَوَاحًا فِيهِ لَكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ بُرْهَانٌ. 4 conditions, and if you try to apply them on most, if not all, of the tyrants we have in the Arab world, it wouldn't fit them. But this doesn't suit their agenda and their personal vendetta. We want to give takfir to the rulers so that we can do all the chaos and mayhap we have or we want. So they deliberately ignore the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ.